Hello everyone, I Dr. Anil Kolpe, Assistant Professor of Economics, Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Baudan Budruk, Pune. Today we are going to discuss about the constraints in agricultural development. Introduction: the causes of low productivity discussed last lecture, and now we are going to discuss about the constraints in agricultural development. However, the following points can be specified as the major constraints in the present circumstances. First is that usurious capital and rural indebtedness. Indebtedness is a common legacy of poor Indian farmer. The moneylender and Mahajan controlled the capital for agriculture as there was no credit agency worth mentioning during the pre-independence period. Taking advantage of the miserable conditions of the farmer, these moneylenders and Mahajan exploited them. But after independence, the government has initiated a number of steps to curb their activities. That is, development of cooperative credit institutions and the increasing participation of banks in providing rural credit. But due to certain reasons, the small and marginal farmers continue to depend on moneylender for fulfilling their credit requirement to a large extent. Thus, they become victims of exploitation by the latter. The phrase one in debt, always in debt expresses the condition of these farmers graphically. Then, second, traditional and outdated farming techniques. The Indian farmers are to a large extent even now dependent on outmoded farming techniques. The traditional agriculture depends on the biological sources of energy, rains, and dung manure. The returns are merged, and this type of farming only results in subsistence farming. However, with the advent of the new agricultural strategy in 1966, modern techniques of production were initiated in certain selected regions of the country like Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh. Nowadays, modern techniques of production, new high yielding varieties of seeds, agricultural productivity are used which would yield substantial increase in these areas. However, technological dualism exists in the country because large area of the country continue to use outmoded agricultural techniques. Then third one, geographical diversities and the problems of generalism. There is a plenty of diversity in the agriculture sector. Different regions of the country show different characteristics. The nature of soil, the magnitude in rainfall availability of water, etc., differ considerably between the different regions. For instance, in the case of monsoon, while western Rajasthan and a part of the desert have a very uncertain rainfall for 2 to 5 inches a year. Cherrapunji in Assam has an annual rainfall of more than 450 inches. Some areas face the problems of water logging and salinity. There is a deficiency of nitrogen in the entire cultivated area. Elements of phosphate and potash also differ significantly in different areas. There is substantial regional difference with regard to subdivision and fragmentation of holdings. Thus, this makes it impossible to formulate a single agricultural policy for the nation as a whole. Then, fourth, labor market dualism. Wages in the agricultural sector is lower than the wages received in the industrial sector. This results in dualism. Large number of workers remain striking to traditional agriculture despite of low wage. This makes due either to ignorance of better opportunities outside agriculture or to their inability to obtain industrial sector job if they wish to, or the cost of living being unacceptably high in relation to the expected wage premium. Low wages returns in low productivity. Then feudal relation of production. There were three types of land tenure system in the Indian country. Approximately 57% area of the country was under the zamindari system. The Rayatwari came second with 38%, while Mahalwari was restricted to only 5%. After achieving independence, the state governments enacted laws to abolish these intermediaries. These laws were inadequate. The zamindars only charged their garbs and becomes the absentee landlords, and these absentee landlords yielded considerable economic power derived from the land ownership, like that cultivation with the help of hired laborers, leasing out of land to tenants, and using and trading in grains and other commodities. Then, new trust areas in agriculture. With the introduction of new technology, India has achieved self-sufficient in agricultural production. It has good buffer stock of food grains that it can face any eventually. However, this should not make India complacent. There are many new trust areas in which we must orient our agricultural policies in the interest of agricultural growth with emphasis on sustainability and equity. The major trust areas are following below. First is that negligible improvement in output and area under coarse cereals. There is no improvement in core cereals because sufficient attention was not paid to develop better HYV, it means high yield variety seeds of these crops. More emphasis was given on rice and wheat, and coarse cereals remain neglected. Then second, stagnation in the output of pulses. In most years, production of pulses has been stagnant around 14 million tons. The per capita consumption of pulses, which was 69 grams per day in 1971, and has come down to 37 grams now, which is a matter of serious concern. Out of about 23 million hectares of area under pulses and only 2 to 3 million hectares in irrigated. Both Arhar and gram taken together account for 60% of total production of pulses, and there is further scope for improvement. During the 2013 to 14, the production of pulses has been 9.9 million tons and 3.3 million tons respectively. Then third one, boosting and production of edible oils. India is yet to attain self-sufficiency in the production of edible oils. The major edible oilseeds groups in India are groundnut, rapeseed, sesame, sunflower, and soybean. The productivity per hectare is low. Imports of edible oils have gone up from 700 crores to 1000 crores in a year during the 1980s and exceeded 11,680 crores in 2003 to 4, but declined hereafter. The government of India established the technology mission on oilseeds, and the short-term target of oilseeds production was fulfilled. The long-range target was, however, achieved in 2004 to 5, and India had to import oilseeds. The oilseeds production during 2013-14 is 32.9 million tons. Then fourth, new strategies of irrigation and water management. There about 90% of water available is allocated to irrigation, which is quite wasteful. It would therefore be useful to the develop irrigation strategies which economize water use. The objective should be to reduce water irrigation for use to 77% of total available water in the next 10 to 14 years to meet the increasing demand for industrial and municipal needs. The new strategy for the irrigation should be directed towards the canal and proper method of the irrigation used in areas irrigated by canals and tanks. It means the control proper method of irrigation used in the area irrigated by the canals and tanks. Then repairing the maintaining the traditional system of water harvesting and recharge of the surface water. Then the introducing drip irrigation in well irrigated areas and training farmers and extension officers in water management. Then fifth is that increase in the use of biofertilizers. Research work on biotechnology and genetic engineering have shown that certain microorganisms such as bacteria and the blue-green algae can act as nitrogen fixers and provide nutrient to crop plant. The most commonly and biofertilizer is rhizobium. It is cost effective for the farmers. In India, the use of biotechnology in fertilizer has been hampered because to lack of trained personnel, lack of appreciation of the benefits of the in calculation and absence of the industrial support, the Ministry of Agriculture is sponsoring national projects in this major trust area. Then 6. Dry farming to be given importance. It is a fact that out of the total cultivated area of 163 million hectares in India, dry farming is carried on in 100 million hectares, but the contribution to agricultural production is less than 30%. About two-thirds of dryland farmers own less than 2 hectares, and even this is available in scattered and fragmented holdings. Dry farming should be encouraged, and for this purpose, the problems of different dry land areas have to be studied, and region specific technology have to be developed. Thank you. Thanks for listening my video.